Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Hash, and before I get going here, I'd like to inform you that the footage in the background is from a game called Lethal League, which is a somewhat unique fighting game where you die instantly to a ball you have to smash around, and there are some pretty decent plays in this video, so enjoy it while I babble on. So, this video is somewhat ironically named the video no one wants to see. Why is that, you ask? Well, because it is one of those my plans for YouTube videos no one cares about and everyone hates. Because let us be honest, you'd much rather have your YouTube host invest some time into a real video, you know, one that is fun to watch and not an unstructured mess of pointless ideas your host just had while waffling into his microphone, which turn out to be ideas that they never actually end up doing in the end. Stop that! Stop that! Don't do that! No! To the rectangle, yeah, that. I hated that. I hate giving my viewers instructions, and I hate when people I watch are doing this, seriously. If someone instructs his viewers in his videos to comment, rate and subscribe, I don't do any of those things. And if I'm actually subscribed, I unsubscribe from those people, to be honest. In my eyes, it's like the worst thing you can do. You assume your viewership consists of brainless zombies who need to be told to do something that they should have done by themselves, because if they really wanted to see updates from Channel X, they would just subscribe to Channel X, as it profits them like directly. If they wanted to say something, they would have commented by themselves, because people have brains, you know. And if they liked your video, they might just be smart enough to figure out that those disembodied hands wearing white bracelets are not there for shock factor because it is Halloween. They are there to rate a video. You can do that on YouTube. People know that. You don't need to tell them. It's easy to do. I don't really want to make content for brainless people who cannot figure out that stuff. I want to make smart content, and without blowing my own horn here, I think that the majority of my content is at least somewhat smart. And yeah, I kind of blew my own horn here because I'm like a majestic horse who hit his foot on a pole, winning at the FBI World Equestrian Games. Or am I? So to change this video up a little bit, and not do that pointless babble about things I'd like to do, I will throw in some questions that subscribers never asked me, while I go on doing the pointless babble about things I'd like to do. Let's start off with things I have or haven't done, so I don't go into that pointless babble about things I'd like to do right away. I never really consistently kept to my uploading schedule for too long, but you know, the reason for that... Yeah, that's my sentence. You know the reason for that. Like, you know it. I talked about this in the past. Anyways, the last few weeks there has been like that distinct huge lack of content. The main reason for that is that my very loose New Year's resolution was to upload more music, which I've done, so that's kind of good, I guess. I also want to do more of it, so yeah, maybe expect less videos. What kind of car do you drive? I don't drive any cars anymore, I drive a bike. The car I used to drive was a green one though. And the bike is one of those with like 2 pedals, so it's like an automatic with only 2 wheels. Except for the fact that it doesn't need any gas. And that there's nothing automatic about it. Another thing I haven't done in a long time is streaming. Basically when Screensheet Pseudo died before its release, my streaming died with it. Because at that point in time I was streaming mostly Screensheet, or exclusively Screensheet. However, I really want to get back to streaming somewhat regularly, and I also want to get back into speedrunning, like Wind and Water, for example. So yeah, maybe expect less videos. How old are you? Pretty sure I'm older than you if you ask a question like that. Yeah, to give a rough reference, I'm the oldest guy on the Time Zone server, but the youngest guy when I visit the retirement home in my city, which I've never done, so I might actually be lying here. Kind of unlikely, you know. Apart from those 2 and a 10th points or something, I'd also like to at least experiment with something I've never ever done, but I have this strange feeling that I might just be pretty good at it. Game reviews. Now this is a field on YouTube that is like filled up to the top with a bunch of people doing like a really good job. And a huge amount of people doing a somewhat poor job that is like summarized in this sentence. Hup derp. This game is a 7 out of 10, but all the reasons I gave for that rating neither have any relation to the rating, hup derp, nor make any sense in the first place and have nothing to do with human logic at all, hup derp. I also took the Metacritic score and removed an extra point because I think the game was too easy, hup derp. So yeah, I don't worry about those people, but the bunch of people doing like a really good job at it. The bunch of people doing like a really good job at it kind of scare me, though. So there might be some conflict there, I don't know. Then on the other hand, I kind of get rid of that conflict by the format I have planned for it, which for some reason is a format that, at least to my knowledge, no one has ever really done, which baffles my mind. However, YouTube is huge, so I might just be seeing stuff without knowing it. I've seen a banjo and a guitar. Do you play any other instruments? Yep, I do own and at least occasionally play the mentioned banjo and a 6-string steel string guitar, as well as a 12-string guitar, a 9-string guitar, an accordion, an electric organ, an electric bass guitar, and an electric guitar. Oh, and I got an harmonica, but I don't really play that at all. Should start. I don't know. Anyways, I have no idea how long the production of a decent review will take me in the end. And while I've started to take some notes playing certain games, which I might want to review at some point, I'm nowhere near like a finished review, so yeah, maybe expect less videos. Besides all of that, there's also YouTube. I plan to release more videos on YouTube in a more regular time frame, so maybe expect more videos. You see, there's somewhat of a certain conflict here, and it's hard to resolve. Like everyone, I only have a certain amount of time on a day, which happens to be 24 minus sleep minus food consumption hours, roughly. And I still want to use up at least some of that time for recreational activities, like playing games without streaming them or recording them for YouTube. And activities which I just choose to do to like broaden my horizon. Like at the moment I tried to get back into programming. I did that like years ago when I was still in school. Like years ago, it's like a decade ago. So there's another rough reference to my age. And I also started learning Modern Standard Arabic, which is interesting, but like really hard. Basically, I decided one day I want to learn a new language, but I don't want to learn like a standard language or something Slavic. Is it actually Slavic in English? I don't know. Basically, something that has completely different rules, like Arabic or Japanese were my languages of choice, and I chose Arabic. Also, there's the time zone server, which sometimes takes like a handful of unexpected hours out of my free time, and family stuff, and year-old sickness and other stuff which doesn't come to mind right now. So yeah, maybe expect less videos. What is your favorite video game of all time? Minecraft. Nearly got you there. It happens to not be Minecraft, to be honest. It used to be Transport Tycoon Deluxe for like a long time, but now it is Wind and Water Puzzle Battles and has been for a few years. Or nearly a decade. Probably around a decade, yeah. So here's the gist of what I'm getting at with this video, which is somewhat pointless because in the end we both know that you just want me to release good content in a reasonable interval or reasonable intervals. And I want myself to release good content in reasonable intervals, because that's what I want and that's what you want. So we are on the same page here, but there is this conflict that I have to resolve. However, everyone who produces any content for anyone, everyone who produces any content for anyone has the exact same issue, which happens to be called
time, Dr. Freeman.
And look at that, I didn't tell you anything with that last part. Ergo, I already know how to produce bad reviews. Yay! Is your name a drug reference? Good question. Semantically, yes. But you already know that because you know how to read, right? Technically and intention, but yeah, you might think that it means something different in German, but it doesn't really. I mean, it's an Arabic word and it was taken from Arabic. However, it means something completely different in Arabic. It doesn't really... Yeah, it kind of compares, but anyways. Technically and intentionally, my name is not a direct reference. I chose it back then because I like the ring to it. Seriously, it's great. It has like 3 SCH in it, and you don't even know how to pronounce one, right? So that's great. So my plan to resolve that conflict is to try to work on a schedule, which I know didn't work in the past. So yeah, maybe expect less. Wait a second, maybe expect more? No. Let's not go there. Expectations are bad. You expect something good and you get it, and it is at most as good as it would have been if you weren't expecting anything. You expect something good and you don't get it, that sucks like badly. But if you expect nothing at all and get nothing, you basically lost nothing. And if you expect nothing at all and get something good, suddenly it's at least as good as if you were expecting something good and got it. So yeah, don't expect anything, but in case you want to live with a risky life of getting your expectations shattered, here's my new schedule. Mondays, YouTube stuff. Tuesdays, nothing or streaming stuff. Wednesday, nothing or possibly music or possibly review. However, the standard is going to be nothing. Thursdays, YouTube stuff. Fridays, YouTube stuff. Saturdays, YouTube or streaming stuff. Most likely more streaming stuff because there's more people on Twitch on the weekends, I think. And Sundays, definitely nothing. Once I get this down and keep on that schedule for like a couple of weeks, I will attempt to increase my content output until I'm like at a comfortable level. However, that's not like my plan for 2015 or anything. It's like my plan for the foreseeable future. But stuff changes, unexpected things happen. For example, if I release my first review and it gets like a quadrillion views and I get like an additional 4,000 subscribers, I might release less Let's Play content, yada yada, and more review, yada yada. Which means way less videos overall, probably. Because I don't know yet, but I'm pretty sure a review will take more than a couple of hours, like a Minecraft video. Obviously, that's like incredibly unlikely, and the same could happen with any other content. Because I don't advertise my channel or anything. Why do your subscribers rarely ask you any questions? I don't know, but I secretly like to think that they don't ask any questions because I do my best to answer any questions that might come up for people watching the video. I didn't do that here, though, because the questions have nothing to do with the content of the video, really. Anyways, that's going to cut it for today. Please comment, rate and subscribe if you happen to be a smart guy capable of doing his own choices, who temporarily is in the body of a brainless zombie, but in reality wants to comment, rate and subscribe by yourself. Otherwise, don't listen to people on YouTube. You barely even know. And use your best judgment to decide if you want to comment, rate and subscribe.